Not at all, man.
That video.
Yeah, absolutely. What's
Yeah.
up?
What was your motivation for coming out originally? Just what are your feelings on all of this?
Well, okay. So I have degrees in economics and political science. I worked in international bank. I've worked in state legislature. I've also studied business and philosophy, and now I'm a grad student at the University of Chicago. And honestly, the more I learn, the angrier I get. Right now, the problem is, we have, over the past 40 years, I actually have a really great graph right here. These are real wages over the past 40 years, okay? And this is the bottom 99%, and this is the top 1%. The income disparity is gotten so extreme that we have the highest level of income inequality in the developed world. We're on par with Mozambique and Uganda. And nobody really knows this. So first of all, we need to raise awareness. But it stems from the fact that society is getting too top-heavy. We have, this the capitalist class, and I'm not talking about the part of the 1% that's worked their way up from the bottom. That's fine. You should be able to keep a certain amount of your wealth. But at the same time, we have, people with hundreds of millions of dollars buying out our political system. And there's economics is all about incentives. And right now, there's no incentive for people in the system to change anything because they're not listening to the American public anymore. They're listening to the people with money. In fact, since Citizens United, a Supreme Court decision in 2010, basically money equals free speech. Corporations can donate unlimited amounts of cash to political campaigns. And, who are you going to listen to? Your constituents who can throw a few dollars your way, or the people who can, pledge, tens, hundreds of thousands of dollars? And, there's plenty of problems in the American system, but we can't solve any of them as long as our political process has been hijacked by the wealthy. So first of all, we have to get the money out of politics. We have to reform campaign finance, and I don't know. I'm glad that people are coming out finally. This seems like a manifestation of the frustration of the general public, but they need direction. Right now people are angry, and that's the first step towards social change. But beyond that, we have to start making explicit demands. We have to start developing policies.
Money out of politics primarily should be the focus initially of the movement. That's a good centralized message, a sort of catalyst.
Well, this is the best thing that I've come up with: separation of corporation and state. And the specifics can be debated about, but that's the agenda that we need to be addressing. We need to have democracy for the people, not for profit. And then once we have a political system that's held accountable, that is run by the people, and not by the wealthy, and not by dollar bills, then we can finally start to make changes in other areas that require change. But the crux of the problem is money in politics. More regulation. Basically, I'm all for free market capitalism as long as there are rules to the game. You have to, people sign up for the game and then step on each other to get to the top, and there's externalities involved. The economic term is we have to internalize externalities, being social costs that aren't priced into things. So, pollution is an externality that we need to incorporate into the prices and hold people accountable for that cost. Likewise, when you swindle trillions of dollars out of the general public around the world, you need to hold people accountable for that, and we need to regulate. And so as long as you enforce fair rules of the game so people don't get screwed over who don't sign up for the game, capitalism works. But right now we don't have that. So first order of business, money out of politics.
Where did you say you went to school again?
I went to the University of Texas, and now I'm at the University of Chicago as a graduate student.
And let's say before this whole movement, or even during it right now, what would you describe your political affiliation?
I actually was raised Republican. I used to listen to Glenn Beck. I tried to start the Republican Club in Tokyo, believe it or not. But then I started reading philosophy, and I read an economics book, and I became libertarian for a while. I endorsed Ron Paul. But then as I, got my degree in economics, I realized that Ron Paul's, fiscal policy plans are completely unfeasible and unrealistic, and that, government can be a force for good as long as you have a structure of incentives that promotes good behavior in politics, which we don't have. So right now, I guess, you could say practically I'm a libertarian, but ideally I'm, a progressive. Some people call it socialism, but that's a loaded word. And it stems back from the Cold War, and that's a term best not to be used. But government can't be a force for good, as long as there are rules to the game and there are incentives that promote good behavior in politics, ethical behavior.
Um, a lot of people have been quick to like label this movement as a left movement or something of the like. Would you consider it a left movement?
I think it is. I think it's the antithesis of the Tea Party, which originally stemmed from actually Ron Paul's campaign. It was hijacked by corporate interests, the Koch brothers in particular, two of the 10 wealthiest Americans. And you know, I think it's a recognition that our political system is broken, and you know, it leans left. But at the end of the day, I think most people here understand that the Republicans and the Democrats are two sides of the same coin. And you know, I tend to vote third party just ideologically, but you know, that's throwing your vote away. And I don't know. I don't have all the answers, but I know that if we're going to have an effective government, you have to have a government that listens to people and not profit. This is a quote by Adam Smith from Wealth of Nations. It says, "The proposal of any law or regulation of commerce which comes from those who live by profit ought always to be long and carefully examined with the most suspicious attention, because it comes from an order of men who have generally an interest to deceive and even to oppress the public, and who have accordingly done so upon many occasions." This is the father of capitalism. This is the guy who invented free market capitalism and first theorized about it. And even he is admitting that the capitalist class and those who live by profit can't be trusted when they get involved in government, because their interests don't line up with the interests of the public at large. You know, if people read more philosophy, you know, it's all about getting educated. Only the educated are free is a great quote by Epictetus, an ancient Greek philosopher. But it's true. We have to raise awareness first and foremost before we can get any social change going.